Doing a little bit of a range test. Home point has been updated. Soccer field's pretty busy today. A lot of people practicing. Rain or shine. I'm just going to get the drone up a little bit. Whoops. And away from everybody. So I can see it. I'm just going to pull around and go up. And maybe bring the drone a little bit away from the field so that we're not flying over the people. Since it's the bigger drone with the DJI Mini works well, but with the Mavic 3 it's a little bit too big. So we know the depth and perception's off. We are clear and good to go. All right, let's see. This is Glenrock. Wow, really nice. We've got our strobes running, and we'll just go further down and see how far we can go. Not really how far. We're just going to do around the perimeter. So basically, the drone is going to be flying, doing the distance without doing the distance, if that makes any sense. So we're just going to get it in the position that it needs to be in. 245 feet. We're going to bring it up just a little bit more. And maybe bring it up a little bit so that we can see a little more. There we are. And we're just going to go around the whole perimeter. Really nice. So in case you're wondering, when it comes to flying over people, you have to keep the propeller guards on. And of course, you have to fly over them to pass them, but you're not supposed to hover over them, which, as you can see clearly, the drone is in flight and just going the distance. Speed is about 14 miles an hour. We don't want to go too fast because we want to maintain the battery life and have it go the distance for this flight, which it actually says we have 37 minutes of flight time, which is great. And it also have to go slow because we're streaming. So when you're streaming, you have to make sure that it's not going too fast. So we're pushing it at 3 megabytes per second. This is Glenrock, beautiful town, really beautiful, great people. And there we go. We're just going to go all the way around. Really nice. The wind's picking up a little bit, but so far there's no wind, which is great. I'm just gonna, I don't know if you hear the music in the background. It's just "Beat It" by Michael Jackson. Yeah, I like the "Eat It" version by Weird Al Yankovic. Not sure if you've heard that one, but yeah, you can just eat it. Sometimes you just want to tell people just eat it when they walk up to you and they say you shouldn't be doing that, or you could say just beat it. But it's really good to just de-escalate and just maybe let them share the experience. Let them know that there really isn't anything to worry about. It's just a drone with the camera, and you lose all privilege to privacy wherever you're from once you're in public. But I can understand the fear of the drone, the speed, the distance, the weight. But there's no need to worry about it because, like one of the users was saying in the group, that everyone's got their iPhone out taking pictures too. And why worry about a camera that's 300 feet up in the air that's going to be taking pictures of whatever it is, the landscape, not you, because the camera with the drone is not interested in you. As you can see, it can't even see you. Or we could actually, if let's see, the people in the soccer field. See? So we're about 327 feet up in the air. Let's see if we can actually see you. No, 4 times. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. You can see a little bit, but it's not anything, worthy. 14 times. Oh, look at that. Let's see. Jimmy's ready to play ball. Can he get it? I don't know. He's not in his prime yet, but you never know. He's about to. Oh, he's got the moves. He's about to kick, and nope, that's not him. That's actually the coach showing him how to bust the moves. Okay, that's cool. And there he is. Pretty cool. Pretty neat. Soccer training in the works. Okay, but you can't really see who it is. You have no idea. I'll put it back to autofocus so that we can just go back. That's 28 times. Wow. That's pretty cool. You still can't tell it. That's pretty cool. Anyway, we don't really need that. All right. So on that note, you can see from far away. But do you really want to see from far away? I'm just going to spin the drone around so we can just go back to what we were doing, having fun, live streaming. Let's see how far we can go that way. I'm just going to move the drone so I can see it within visual line of sight. Could be moving too fast. You might not be able to see the stream. I'll just move it slow. I'll put it into cruise control. Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. Button. Okay. Now back to cruise control. Cruise control is on. It's going about 19 miles an hour. We can still see the drone. It looks like the kids are interested and wondering what's that in the sky. And here comes someone. She's just walking her way. That's fine. We don't have to worry. But people always like to ask questions. They're always curious. And I can still see the drone. And I think I'm going to shut down cruise control and just bring it back a little bit so that I don't lose sight of the drone. These lights work really well, but to some extent fair. I'm just going to spin the drone around so that we can see where we are. Look at that. Look at that field. Really nice. Actually, now the drone's going to come in. Now look how far I am right now. Let's see that 28 zoom in the works. It's like, wow, that's 2 times. That's 3 times. Wow. Move it up a little bit. That's 4 times. Wow. Amazing. Look at that. This is phenomenal. And we're going to do 28 times away from this distance. That's a pretty good camera. That's a pretty good lens. But it sort of pixelizes the image. It doesn't really, the pixels aren't there, but it sort of zooms in without the high def, which is okay. It's fair. Really good. Just bringing it back. Hope you're enjoying this live stream. I noticed that with Facebook, when you're doing the live stream, it may or may not push the audio. With LinkedIn, it pushes the audio. With YouTube, all videos that are uploaded get the audio. But for some reason with Facebook, the experience seems to be a little bit different and not as fluid. You have one video with audio, one video without. And that's either the API or it could be just Facebook. Some glitches with the software that Facebook doesn't handle live streaming really well. We're at 74% with the battery, which is really well. I'm just going to hover the drone over me just to do a couple of things. And hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Remember, always make sure that wherever you're flying, you're okay and clear to take off. Because just because the Before You app says you can go doesn't mean that you're good to go. Remember that. Because every town has their own ordinance. And I can't stress that anymore, because I say that a lot of times in a lot of my feed, because a lot of folks aren't familiar with the ordinance or permission that's needed to fly. I mean, some folks, hey, the FAA rules the airspace. How is it that I'm not good to go? Well, you are good to go as long as the airspace says you're good to go. The question is, how are you going to get to go where you need to go so that you can be where you want to be? Legally. For example, I could do this, right? Be in the FAA airspace, but you have to be legally able to take off from the ground. For example, in Glen Rock doesn't have a town ordinance, right? So I can pretty much fly and have fun. Westwood has a drone ordinance, so and they've actually went to town with the airspace. So so in that sense, just dot your T's and cross your I's before you go, and make sure you're good to go before you go. We're at 24 minutes left of battery life. It's really disappointing with the battery life. First, they say 45 minutes. I don't see how there is 45 minutes, and it says 68%. But that time diminishes depending on how far you are. So the closer you are, the more bars of battery and reception you have, of course, or maybe you'll have. But also the further away you are, it drains the battery too, because the remote, right, and the receiver have to communicate, which can drain juice, which was one of the reasons why I got the Pro receiver, because I can maintain a solid connection without eating up my battery so quickly, if that makes any sense. All right, so there we go. Look at that. Glenrock. I'll just take off a little bit. And somewhere in here, there is a lake. Let's just bring the camera down. And there's the lake, the Glenrock Duck Pond. Really beautiful. It's an arboretum, actually. Beautiful space. You can go fishing. You can't forage for worms, unfortunately, so you have to bring your own. But it does photograph really well. I'm just going to turn off the optical zoom and turn the camera back on, and take a picture. Look at that. Take a picture. It will last longer. I've gotten some shots of this. This is really nice. Look at the reflection in the water. I'll just take a picture. Let's see if I can zoom in, though. I can go up, go down. Oh, I can only zoom in. Yes, I can, but that's because I'm in explore mode. Maybe bring the height up a little bit, right? So that I can just get that shot, because before I've taken this shot, but I never really got the homes next to it. So that's really nice. A little bit off center, but it's definitely good. Let's see. We're at 311 feet up, which is nice. Good height. Distance is good, within reason, because the drone is within visual line of sight. Again, that's also a gray area. So at night, it could probably go a little bit further. Look at that. Take a picture of that. Once it comes onto the computer, it'll be so much different. And, oh wow, look at that. Really nice. Bring it down a little bit. Bring it up. Take a picture. You can still see the drone. These homes over here are really nice. They photograph really well. Kind of like the way the homes do in Asbury Park. A lot of that gray and black going on. Let's see what's down that way. Battery life is at, time to bring it back. Oh no, 58%, but 19 minutes left. I thought it was. It's going to fly over. Let you guys see this new field. Actually, the field is phenomenal. Let's have a look at that. This field was actually just wasted space before, and look at what they've turned it into. And it actually photographs really well from far away. We'll just check it out from the distance. This place is just built really well. It's got AstroTurf. You never have to mow the lawn, never get a weed. Look at that. Really beautiful field. There's the distance. It's coming in. It's really weird because I thought I saw I wasn't touching the joystick, and I was like, oh no, what's happening? The drone has a life of its own, which sometimes it does happen. You can experience what they call a flyaway. So one of the techniques of flying is when you don't want to experience, if you do experience a flyaway, make sure that you're parallel to the tree line, right? So when you fly, you're sort of like the drone will just keep going along the tree line, and just keep going and going and going. Looks like it's overcast over there, though. And hopefully it'll avoid a home if it does a flyaway on its own. Just some food for thought. Just going to bring the drone back a little bit, spin it around the other way, and just bring it back. Really beautiful. Again, we're still in Glenrock. We're about 300 feet away from the drone. Folks still playing soccer, which is great. And don't be afraid to fly. Just keep flying. And if you have access to an open area, take advantage of it. Because the more you fly, the more confident you become, and the more experience you gain with the hours that you actually do while flying. We're at 50% battery, but it says 13 minutes left, which means I'll probably slowly start bringing it in right about now. Because, again, 49% in 15 minutes. Again, now it's going to 16 minutes. So you could never really gauge the battery, because now I'm bringing it in closer. So the closer you are, again, the more battery that you get for your experience. Okay, so I think that's it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this live feed, whether you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. But yeah, a lot of people enjoy these live feeds because, some guys had aspirations and dreams to become a pilot and never really, maybe they didn't pass the AMA physical, or maybe, just fear of heights, or maybe just enjoy the heights without going up into the heights. So, that's where the pleasure comes in these videos. And for me, it's just great, just creating and seeing and watching from the distance. So on that note, we're going to bring the drone back in. Got about 12 minutes left. I hear it. I'm sure you hear it too. Yep, and I see it too. Remember, always keep an eye on that drone, because you never know. I guess the panic strikes in when you lose visual line of sight of the drone. But that's where learning how to read the maps comes in, right? Because if you know the distance is 18 feet and the height is 249, the drone can't be too far away. However, you can't always trust the maps, and that's why you have to always rely on your orientation and flying skills too. Because once the instruments fail, then what? Right? Beautiful. We're going to spin it around. As you can see, there's the Glenrock Pool. Can't wait to see how this is in the spring and summer. It's going to be really nice. You can do a change of seasons transition with Waypoint flying maps. And we're just going to land the drone, make sure no one's in the area. We're good to go. We're at 14 minutes flying time, 40%, but can't always rely on that. And we're just going to try and see if we can land on the landing pad, or maybe not. Maybe you want to see how the field looks. Look at that. Kind of neat, huh? Beautiful field. And then I'll just bring it back down again. Looks really cool. I'll just bring it down and try to land it on the landing pad. Right about here. It may or may not land on the landing pad because I don't have the stakes in. Let's see. Oh, no, it won't land on the landing pad because there's so much hover and I don't have the stakes in. But that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed the Stringcast. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. And I'll see you all next time.